Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world and whatever time it is you're listening to this at. I am JC Botero, 67, and I am your host for, of course, The Theorist. And we are going to go ahead and just do some reviewing of chapters 38 and 39 of Black Rose Eden's Simply Meant to Be. They are the last two chapters of the story, divided into part 1 and part 2. 38, of course, being part 1, and chapter 39 being the latter. And, of course, there's an epilogue coming, so we'll be looking out for that pretty soon. So, I did want to go ahead and review chapter 38. I wanted to make a video, a separate video for it, but because chapters 38 and 39 were being posted in the same week, I kind of forwent it just because I didn't want to upload a video, reviewing and predicting part 2 if it was going to come out before I even got a chance to upload it. So what I did instead was actually write my first written review on fanfiction.net, and this is what I had to say about chapter 38. Let me start off by saying that I would have loved to review and predict this in my audio recordings, but I doubt I'd get it out in time before part 2 of this finale, though I'll probably do one afterward and before the epilogue. But anyway, here's my first actually written review on this masterpiece. Yet another wonderful chapter you've written for our reading pleasure. This is what love is all about, being supportive and valuing what is on the inside of a person. So proud of you, Sebastian. And I'm glad to see that Ciel is well on his way to recovery. Yet I hate to be a buzzkill, but seeing all these ups and downs he's been through, I fear that the ending could take a turn and end sadly. And I say this because Sebastian having to go back to London to see his mom just made me think, okay, she's fine, but something is bound to happen to get Sebastian back to New York ASAP. It's in the back of my mind and slowly creeping its way to the forefront, but I just hope that I'm wrong. I really do. On to a few random notes now, so this review doesn't have a sad ending to it. 1. I loved how you broke the sections in this first half of the finale into months. 2. Sebastian showing up after Lizzie asked that was hilarious. 3. The interaction between Sebastian and Spears. Ha ha ha, classic. What else can I say? 4. And Aloise, genius with his jokes and the things he says as always. Reference material? Loved it. 5. And Ciel's line, I don't want to be near you right now. You might stab me with your erection. Bloody brilliant. So that was the written review of chapter 38 that I had, and now we'll move on to part 2 of the finale. So I do want to start out with Vanessa. She was talking with Dr. Spears, and Dr. Soma Kadar was coming up to talk to him about Ciel's state. And so Vanessa was commenting on how the doctor of hematology was very attractive and exotic and how he seems to be her type. But Spears says, he's very gay as well. Because she said something like, oh, he's so exotic. And so Spears comes back with, and oh, he's so gay. So Vanessa, in response to that, says, when I'm born again into the world, I want to be a guy. And so that reminded me of the little bio that Black Rose Eden provides on her homepage, I guess you could call it, on fanfiction.net. And this is what she says. In my next life, I want to come back as an achingly beautiful, submissive uke. Yes, I want to be a twink, lol. So, I kind of agree with Black Rose Eden's little statement there. I think I would love to be born a beautiful, submissive uke, kind of looking like Ciel in my next life as well. And so, at the end of chapter 39, I know I'm jumping around here, but there's a point as to why I'm doing this. Because in that author's note, Black Rose Eden is thanking all her readers. She specifically names Anime Cujo because they share a lot in common and they've really come close together. They edit each other's works and, they're kind of there for each other with their stories. And so Black Rose Eden had pointed out that, she felt odd and different until she met Anime Cujo. And I kind of put that hand in hand with her desire to come back as an uke. And, what I want to say in response to that is, no, Black Rose Eden, I don't think you're odd or different at all. I mean, you are, of course, and that's what makes you unique, and that's absolutely perfect. So I don't want you to feel odd or different. I mean, I guess being odd and different is like the new cool. So, I mean, you're awesome. And, I do also want to thank you for providing us with such a beautiful story. And I do want to thank you as well for putting my name in the story. I was one of the lucky special readers that she thanked in her author's note as well. And for those of us who were the special readers, we actually got our names put into the story. And so it was truly touching to see that. It brought me to tears when I saw my name in there. So that was super sweet and nice of you. And, so many feels. But coming back to part 2 of the finale, we do see that, yes, Ronald and Spears are bound to hook up, because when Dr. Kadar tells Spears, okay, Ciel is fully recovered, there's like nothing wrong with him, it's such a miracle. I think before he even says that news, they're talking about how Agni is kind of heading some special Indian art at the MoMA. And that's where Grell works. So Spears is like, Agni's probably met my cousin, and, he's such a disgrace to the family, and blah, blah, blah. And so then it jumps to where Soma suddenly says, I'll hook you up with somebody, and Agni knows of someone. And so, it's a 23-year-old, he's an intern there. We know right off the bat that it's Ronald. So in the epilogue, we'll see how things turned out for the both of them. So super exciting, because, it makes me happy that Spears is going to have a happy ending for himself. He's not going to be alone. But what did touch me a little bit about Spears was the goodbye that he had with Ciel. It nearly brought me to tears. It was just so sweet, bittersweet, I should say, to see that goodbye hug happen between them. But I guess I'll go ahead and reveal it now. I do have something I want to share with you guys, and that's the fact that I plan on writing a Spears-Ciel fanfic, or how I like to refer the couple is Cielium, a mesh of the two names. So I'm super excited to get started on that, and, I'll be looking forward to, sharing little bits of it with Anime Cujo and Black Rose Eden, and they'll kind of guide me and help me edit some things. But, I'm still working on figuring things out, so it won't be coming out too soon, but I definitely look forward to posting it up and sharing it with you guys and getting feedback and constructive criticism from everybody, because I know there are several fans out there like me who support this shipping, and most of us have gotten the idea from this beautiful story, Simply Meant to Be. So it is my joy and pleasure to kind of bring that shipping out a bit more, because it's not too popular. And I know that Black Rose Eden had mentioned in these Q&As that she posted in one of her chapters that she didn't plan on writing a Spears-Ciel fanfic. And so when I read that comment, I was like, no, you should, it would be amazing. But, it's kind of a calling, I guess, for me to undertake that. Anyway, we'll move along with the rest of this review, because we don't need to keep talking about me and Cielium, because this is a review on SMTV, not other things. So, moving along, we come to the love scene that occurred between Ciel and Sebastian. And in my previous video, I had predicted the fact that the finale would start off with a lemon because of the way that chapter 37 ended. I don't know, it just got me thinking, the last line just kind of prompted for a lemon to happen. Which it didn't, because it happened in part 2 of the finale instead, and more toward the end. But it was perfect where it was placed, because I kind of didn't take into account, Ciel is still recovering, it's a big recovery process, it takes time. So of course, not right off the bat are they going to jump in and start making love again. So, I didn't really take that into account, and Black Rose Eden, being the amazing author that she is, placed it in the most appropriate and perfect place. And continuing on from there, we come to the beautiful ending, which includes a gift that Ciel wants to give to Sebastian. And it turns out to be a pocket watch with Ciel's family emblem on there. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when we first read about the pocket watch, I mean, that was the opening chapter, chapter 1. You know, Ciel was looking at his pocket watch, waiting for Lizzie to come into the cafe. And I know I'm backtracking a heck of a lot, but you'll see my point right now. I'm just jumping around. It's the theme of this thing, of this review video. So, you know, he's looking at the time, and it's just that pocket watch is so symbolic because it brought him close together to Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian was the one that saved him when he had that panic attack. And then because of that moment in the second chapter, Ciel thought that the best thing to do was give him that pocket watch. The original pocket watch, of course. And so that occurred kind of toward the middle of the story, I guess. Or like at least the first half. And, you know, he gave him that pocket watch, and he had this beautiful little monologue that he said. And it was so symbolic. And then, of course, a few chapters down the road, they get into that big fight after Thanksgiving, and Ciel throws the watch to the ground, and it gets all wrecked up. And so what Ciel was telling him with this new pocket watch he's giving him is that I still feel so bad for having done that to my pocket watch since that day, and not just feeling bad for himself, but for Sebastian. You know, he feels so guilty for having done that, and so he felt that he owed him a pocket watch. And I mean, it was the most beautiful thing. And getting back to the point of why I backtracked to all that was because that pocket watch was very, again, I'm just reiterating myself, it was very symbolic. And I kind of figured that toward the end, I never said it in my reviews or predictions, but I definitely thought it, that that pocket watch, it was destroyed, but that there would be a pocket watch at the end, too. So it was kind of in the back of my mind, but I never really verbalized it. I guess I was so drawn into it ending sadly that I didn't even think about, you know, a happy ending and a new pocket watch coming about. So that was really beautiful, and I really enjoyed reading that and kind of picturing it in my mind. So I do want to end the review with these words, and I'm pretty sure you'll recognize them. Will you let me make your heart my permanent home? His quivering voice gave away the anxiety built up inside the normally overconfident man. Will you entrust me with your life? Allow me to place mine in your hands. Will you see me to the end of my days and willingly spend the rest of your life by my side? Will you be open to creating a family with me, making memories and passing everything we know and understand to a future generation of our own? Will you? Would you please, please, his thumb tenderly caressed the ring, marry me? And of course, those were the beautiful words of the sweet proposal that Sebastian made to Ciel. It brought me so close to tears, and it was a beautiful ending because Ciel, of course, said yes. And so it's going to be wonderful to see this wedding happen in the epilogue. Hopefully we get to see the wedding. You know, hopefully the epilogue doesn't jump too far ahead to years after the marriage, because I think it would be beautiful to see a wedding. Because honestly, of the Black Butler fanfics I've read, I haven't really come across any endings where they do get married. I mean, I've read ones that were pretty tragic, you know, character deaths, or they ended up being related to one another somehow. Or, you know, they do have a happy ending, but they're not married. I mean, I guess, you know, marriage is kind of like a typical kind of overrated thing. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I think for this case, I really liked seeing that. I really, really did, and I know many other readers of this beautiful fanfic thought that as well. So I know that we're all looking forward to what's gonna come in that epilogue. So thanks, guys and gals, for tuning in and for your patience with this much longer review, and I'll see you around soon.